Today I'm at Norway's biggest theme park, Tusenfryd, around 20 kilometres from Oslo. This gorgeously located park is home to 7 roller coasters, including an intense inverted coaster and a potential hidden gem of a woody, along with a number of other fun and thrilling attractions. So come and join me at Tusenfryd. So here we are inside the park. It's a lovely day here, the weather's nice. The scenery here that is set in Tusenfryd is stunning. It's just trees, and if you look behind me, I don't know if you can see back out in the distance there, it's just views for miles. It's a lovely, lovely spot. Also a lot of walking today, so I might be out of breath. We're going to be constantly going uphill. I'm going to start by heading to the back of the park, where we're going to find Storm the Dragon Legend, which is the most recent thrill coaster edition that opened a couple of years ago. Gerstlauer launched inverted coaster, really good fun, so we're going to head in that direction now. So heading into Dragonville, the home of Storm the Dragon Legend. Just noticing that the logo's got some slight Mortal Kombat vibes. Didn't notice that last time I was here. I think these flags might be new actually. A quick chat about Tusenfryd in general. So this is just on the outskirts of Oslo. The bus here this morning took around 20 minutes and that cost about £5.50, which is 72 kroners locally. This is Norway's biggest theme park, and as I said earlier, the setting it's in is absolutely beautiful. We're up on quite a hill here. At the back of the park here where Storm is, it's quite a trek, pretty much entirely upwards the whole way, but it's worth it. It's a stunning setting, a stunning location for a theme park. And we've got some pretty good rides here, so we're going to go and ride Storm the Dragon Legend first. Storm the Dragon Legend is a Gerstlauer Infinity inverted coaster which opened at Tusenfryd in 2023. Riders begin their journey gently launching forwards out of the station about a third of the way up the first inversion, then roll backwards and get boosted through the station and up into the final inversion. If you're sat at the back here, you're fully upside down. You roll forwards and boost again through the station, reaching Storm's top speed of 59 miles per hour and up to the highest point of 109 feet for the first of 3 inversions, separated by an airtime hill. If you're lucky, you might just get boosted through the station for a second lap. Storm the Dragon Legend is a Gerstlauer multi-launch inverted coaster, so you hang under the track with just lap bars, which makes it so much more comfortable. Loads of hang time going through the inversions there. It is not necessarily the smoothest. It's definitely got a couple of moments there where it feels quite aggressive. I wouldn't necessarily say rough. I wouldn't even necessarily say it has a rattle anymore like it used to, but it's definitely aggressive and you do feel that, so be mindful of that. It's quite a fierce coaster. But you've got 3 inversions there, all really good, loads of hang time through them. There's a really solid airtime hill. Again, experience on an inverted coaster is always unique, and with lap bars you do get that lift out of your seat as well. What's really cool is they're running a full 2-lap special on it. So when I came here 2 years ago, you just got 1 cycle through. Obviously you do the multi-launch at the beginning, so you sort of gently launch forwards, then back up into the sort of dive loop where you get the hang time, and then you swoop back into the station, go through the full course, and that'll be it. But now, as you complete the course, you're boosting again through the station, doing it all again a second time. So really cool, really enhances the overall ride experience, and you end up getting like 6 or 7 inversions if you're sat towards the back. So yeah, that's a really good coaster. I'm surprised more parks haven't built these. I can't imagine these are the most expensive coasters. They have a small footprint, very compact. I think it's a really solid coaster model, and one of their better ones. So yeah, I enjoy Storm. I think it's a very solid investment here for Tusenfryd. So that is Thunder Coaster, and that is up next. Great layout on this one. So into the queue for Thunder Coaster we go. Looks like it's just a station wait as well, so we should be on nice and quickly here. This is a Vekoma wooden coaster, actually opened in 2001. It has those nasty Timberliner trains, which I don't like at all. But I remember this layout being really good. Like, this has potential to be one of the best wooden coasters in Europe, in my opinion. The trains let it down a little bit though, but let's go and see how it's riding in 2025. Thunder Coaster is a Vekoma wooden coaster that opened at Tusenfryd in 2001. This woody reaches a top speed of 57.8 miles per hour from a 105-foot drop, with riders experiencing 12 airtime moments as this well-paced coaster hurtles along over 3,000 feet of timber. The potential of Thunder Coaster's layout is insane. That could be Europe's best wooden coaster. It's just a little bit let down by how kind of rough it is. It could probably use a little bit of retrack work, but I think it's the trains in particular. If you watched the channel before, you know I'm not a big fan of the Timberliner trains. They're light, they find every single pothole in the track, and they do let it down slightly. So I think a bit of track work and better trains. The layout's fantastic, the pacing of it's fantastic. It's just it's a little uncomfortable in places, and more uncomfortable than it kind of needs to be. But like I say, the potential of this thing's awesome. So we jumped in for a second ride because there was no queue. Unfortunately, that's backfired because it's broken down. And so we're sort of trapped here in the station bit. We can't get out back into the queue, and we can't obviously cross the tracks to get out. So we're just going to have to wait for them to get this up and running. But apparently they've called for technicians. They're not here yet. So we're just sort of loitering. Well, we finally got our second ride on Thunder Coaster after a bit of a delay there. I think the issue was with the train that stopped on a brake run. It didn't seem to stop in the right place, so obviously it didn't clear the block zone, so they couldn't release the next train from the station. And we all just kind of waited around for about 20 minutes or so. But then we got a second ride on the back row of the red train that time. Still really rough, but man, the ejector airtime at the back was so good. The layout's awesome, the pacing's great. It seems to sort of build up speed as it goes, and those last few air hills are really strong. But it beats you up, and you've got to factor that in as well, unfortunately. I think the real shame is that with some track work and with better trains, that would probably be the strongest wooden coaster in Europe, in my opinion. That layout's awesome. It's got tons of force to it. Like I say, if that rode better, that would be right up there with the likes of Wodan and Colossus. It's not quite, just because it is, I say, it does batter you a little bit. But man, really good coaster, really rate that. And I look forward to get some more rides on that later on. Are you ready for your jaw to hit the floor? Because this view is pretty spectacular. So down in this section we have a few rides, a couple of water rides, but also Thor's Hammer, which is a dark ride. Unfortunately, this doesn't look like it's going to be opening today, so I'm not sure we're going to get this one. And a quick run through Google's Translate confirms that Thor's Hammer is actually going to be out of action for the entire 2025 season. So you are coming down here this year. Sorry, you're not going to get this one, and that's a shame for you, but it's, like I say, it's the way it goes. Oh, but we do also have a Mack water coaster, which I didn't get to ride last time because the queue is massive. So quite looking forward to getting on this and hopefully not getting too wet. When it comes to Mack water coasters, the spray is normally going outwards, so you don't usually get too wet. However, everyone is coming off this drench, so I'm apprehensive, and I'm going solo because my mate doesn't fancy getting wet. So let's go ride a SuperSplash. SuperSplash is a Mack water coaster that's operated at Tusenfryd since 2003. Set in idyllic surroundings, this boat will take riders to a height of 95 feet, giving them a few moments to enjoy the views before dropping them at speeds of over 46 miles per hour over a bunny hop and dunking them into a lake. Well, SuperSplash is a pretty standard Mack ride water coaster. That was really good fun though. Not too much of a drenching unless you're stood off ride just to my right, in which case you get absolutely pelted with water. But no, that was solid. Pretty standard layout there, similar to the sort of Poseidon and stuff like that at Europa Park. But no, on a day like this, to get a nice sprinkle of water was actually really nice. So yeah, enjoyed that, and a new cred. So they do also have these very impressive looking rapids. Unfortunately, people are coming off this absolutely soaked, so I think we're going to give this a miss. But honestly, on a summer's day, this would be amazing. But it's sort of 18 degrees here today. It's nice, but it's not like the sort of weather where if you get absolutely drenched that you're going to dry off again. So yeah, it's a shame because it does look fun. The views though from this point of the park are stunning though. Well, we're heading into Route 66. It's just like being in America. It's kind of not though, is it? But we do have a couple of pretty solid roller coasters down here. This is where we're going to find Speed Monster, which is the big Intamin coaster we saw at the entrance earlier, and Loopen, which is a very old and not particularly comfortable Vekoma looper. Amongst other things, it's quite a nice area of the park around here, so let's go and explore. I was about to say, let's go ride a Speed Monster, but it's closed. Well, so far that's all three of the headline coasters that have gone down at various points, and obviously the big dark ride's shut as well, so that's not ideal, but like I say, sometimes it happens. We're going to go and ride Loopen instead though, which is the big red classic Vekoma. I remember this being pretty uncomfortable, but let's go give it a ride anyway. Loopen is a Vekoma MK1200 that opened at Tusenfryd in 1988. Riders are taking up a 68.9 foot lift hill while they'll drop around to the right, hitting speeds of 43.5 miles per hour and going upside down twice through a vertical loop and a corkscrew.
The Loopen's quite an interesting one. It's a proper classic Vekoma looping coaster, this one. Opened here at the resort in 1988, so it's the oldest operating roller coaster here. It does literally consist of a drop, a loop, a very janky bend, a corkscrew, and then another very janky bend. And those two bends are horrible with the over-shoulder restraints. They really do slap you in the side of the neck there. Not the most comfortable, but you know what? It's a bit of history. It still has the older style Vekoma trains with the manually locked restraint system, so it is quite a slow loading process, and with only one train as well, we were quite fortunate that actually we only waited a couple of trains to get on, because I think on a busier day that's probably quite a slow loader. But yeah, pretty good fun, pretty rough at the same time, and the comfort's not really aided by the fact that this isn't a coaster that's been planted into the ground here. As you can see, it is just on its own support structure, so that will affect, of course, how sturdy it is. And this whole exit ramp just shakes as the roller coaster's going around. So Speed Monster has reopened. We've jumped in a queue. We waited outside for a little bit while it tested. So we're maybe 2 or 3 trains in to wait. So not too bad at all. So excited to get back on this Intamin accelerating coaster. Pretty good fun, and has the original Norwegian loop. We'll chat about that in a minute.
Speed Monster is an Intamin launch coaster that sped into Tusenfryd in 2006. This has a hydraulic launch system which propels riders from 0 to 52.8 miles per hour and into a course that features 3 inversions, including the infamous Norwegian loop, which wraps around the entrance escalators.
So I'm not sure if Speed Monster's going to happen for us today, as we just got sort of evac'd. I can't really claim that as an evacuation credit, but yeah, we made our way onto the train, got all the way onto the launch section of track down here next to me. Don't know if you can see that there. Look at the fins. And then the engine noises stopped and we sat there for a bit. And then a member of staff came and said something to the train in Norwegian, which I didn't understand, but kind of gathered from that we were probably not going to be riding. And then we sort of reversed back into the station, which was unique, never done that before. So yeah, got as far as boarding, moving forward about 10 feet and then reversing back through the station and weirdly beyond the station before then settling back to the right spot so they could release the restraints and let us off. So yeah, bit of a shame. They've evacuated the entire queue line as well, so that suggests to me they're not anticipating getting this opened anytime soon, and it maybe sent 3 trains around since reopening, so yeah, a little bit unlucky there, but hopefully we get back on this one later. Hurry Hurry is kind of Zamperla's take on the Reverchon spinner, you know, the ones that kind of do a figure of 8 and give you 25 laps like the one at Energylandia. This one only gave 2 laps, which was fine, and actually it was pretty entertaining. I quite enjoyed it. When it spun, you got some quite forceful moments. It was just a very short lap though, and a slightly longer layout would be better, but no, that was pretty good. Comfortable, really nice train designs on there. I thought that was quite good fun for a little family coaster. It's all right. So up next we have Spin Spider, a Huss Frisbee with seats on the outside, so more like a gyro. Not sure it's going to be as good as Loki tomorrow, but quite looking forward to this. Not done a Huss version of these before, so this should be good. Well, we just spun a spider and that was actually pretty good fun. Very fierce, some great views up the top there. And yeah, really enjoyed that. I'd certainly recommend it, but looking forward to riding Loki tomorrow though, over at Leesburg. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see that vlog when it drops. Q-Line Pizza. Space Shot was a fairly standard shot and drop tower, made kind of special by the incredible views at the top. Unfortunately we only got that view once because then we dropped back down again and we didn't bounce back that high a second time, but yeah, for maybe 3-4 seconds, absolutely stunning scenery. Western-Expressen is up next, a bit of a Vekoma mine train action.
Western-Expressen is a Vekoma junior coaster that opened at Tusenfryd in 2012. It stands at 42.7 feet tall, which feels much higher looking down on the valley, and takes riders to speeds of 28.5 miles an hour during a fun but occasionally janky experience.
Well, Western-Expressen is very much a coaster that is filed under okay. One you ride just to get it done. It's nothing special. There are much better Vekoma family coasters out there, but the drop in the back was pretty good fun. The brakes were incredibly sharp. I think we both got winded there. And now we find ourselves in a cute little Wild West village. Hi, I'm David Wine, and you should like this video. So another ride on Thunder Coaster. Green train. Good news is that's really warmed up. Bad news is that's made it super rough, and the first half of that was pretty brutal, if I'm honest. Rattling around all over the place. But the second half it kind of smooths out a little bit, and is like I said earlier, it really carries that pace in the second half of the ride as well. So yeah, the potential is so high with that. It's just not really being realised, purely because it's quite an uncomfortable experience. But if that could be addressed slightly, man, what a wooden coaster they'd have here. So we concluded the day with two more rides on Storm the Dragon Legend. One in row 9 near the back and one on the very front row. We could literally reach up and touch the dragon, which was nice, if you're into that sort of thing. Those were two fantastic rides, the two best rides of the day without question. That is running really well now. It's still got that little bit of a rattle, but it's not too detractable when you've got lap bar restraints. And wow, that is fierce. It only hits a top speed of 59 miles an hour, but it really feels fiercer than that. And yeah, two fantastic rides there. Like I say, really getting both ends of the train, getting the benefits of all the forces. And yeah, that's the best coaster here, I think. And those were by far the two best rides of the day. So yeah, really pleased to kind of finish on a high here. And we're going to go outside now and have a bit of a chat about Tusenfryd in general. So that concludes our day here at Tusenfryd, just on the outskirts of Oslo. I think it's mostly been a good day. The weather's been great. The location of the park here is really its strength, I think. And we've had some pretty decent roller coaster rides too, punctuated by those two rides on Storm the Dragon Legend at the end of the day, which were really fierce. Like, that was really running really well then. Thunder Coaster, I think, is a really good, solid wooden coaster. Unfortunately, we didn't get to ride Speed Monster. You might see it in the background testing. They've been standing around empty trains for the last kind of 10 minutes or so, but all rides are shut now, so there's no hope of getting on that. If you do come here, just be aware it's a very hilly park. You are going to be doing a lot of kind of uphill walking, so that's something you need to bear in mind. Tickets today were priced at 399 Norwegian kroner, which is about £30, which I don't think is too bad at all. And I'd certainly recommend this park. I think there's enough here to make it worthwhile. There are clear opportunities for improvement too, but I think you can say that about most theme parks, to be fair, and in that kind of price bracket I think it's quite reasonable. But anyway, we are now running for our bus, so I'm going to sign off. There is a vlog from Thorpe Park I went to last week, kind of in this new style with all the voiceovers and stuff, so go give that a look if you like, and I shall catch you soon. Cheers.